Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episodes 6 and 7, Ghostlight and CoBro. We were busy last week, so we decided to cram these two together. And actually, I'm kind of glad because not like a huge ton happened in either episode. We're still just kind of treading water, trying to decide who we think the suspect is. There's more like interpersonal stuff than actual mystery stuff. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Basically, episode 6 starts. Mabel took Taubert home.
Yeah, she did.
Get it, girl. Love that for you. And so we start basically by Oliver and Charles coming to the apartment, and yeah, right? Or was it? No, it's Howard first.
Yeah,
Howard came first, and he was like, "I killed Ben Glenroy," and then we find out about one of these like theater curses that's apparently everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Yeah, and it was a guy, I don't remember what his name was now already. Gideon. Yeah, and he
Gooseberry or whatever.
He is haunting the Gooseberry Theater because he was killed by a sandbag falling on his head during a performance, and so Howard thinks that he's responsible for Glenn's death because he didn't sweep the stage correctly to keep the ghost away.
That's not how you do it.
How do you do it?
KT was right. You involve them in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
basically
you just invite them to like hang about. I don't know, with my stage ghost, I was just like, "Hey Abigail, I didn't want to see you because I'll pee my pants. So like I don't care if you want to like hang out or whatever." So yeah.
Just don't show yourself to me.
Yep.
So
she showed herself to other people, just not me.
Yuck. Basically, the whole group goes to the Gooseberry Theater, and because apparently they're opening back up tomorrow. Everyone is convinced that Greg, the stalker, is the actual killer, except for Mabel. Mabel's the only one that doesn't believe it. So they're all going around the theater. Charles is having a really hard time. He's brought the fish. I guess Joy only left President McKinley. Which is weird.
Why?
Why would she leave that one fish?
Because he was bullying the other ones.
Oh, all right. Fine.
Yeah.
But also the whole tank, or did Charles buy that tank?
No, she left that tank, which I'm like, why? If you're going to take everything, that tank is expensive.
Yeah.
So,
we had the exact same thought.
I think that she just wanted to buy another reason to buy a fish tank.
I think he's probably better off. But
yeah.
So he basically has the fish, and he gets locked in like an equipment room or something, and he's having a bad time. It's like there's not like a ton to it. He just like doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't have anybody. The fish is the only thing he has left. But the bag is leaking. He didn't even put him in a bowl. I don't know. It was very weird.
How these fish are still alive with all of this stimulus.
Because he also dumps it into the tank of a toilet. And then he flushes the toilet because he's trapped in that room for such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Mabel said it was like 20 minutes. And so then Oliver is like walking around too, and he finds a man who they like used to be friends. Jerry. And he's been living there in the like
a little attic.
What is it called? A garret apartment? Like not an apartment. It's literally the attic of the theater, but it's set up like a little artist's apartment. And he is just straight up eating rats that he finds in the like walls of this theater or whatever.
I think he's a little crazy.
Yeah, he's a little crazy. But yeah, he was also witness to the altercation between Charles, Loretta, and Ben. So he tells Oliver, who didn't know some of this stuff yet. So they basically are just like all fighting. The three of them are like fighting about what's going on. Taubert ends up showing up. I am definitely still suspicious.
Yeah, it doesn't read genuine what he's doing with Mabel.
I can't decide if that's just Jesse Williams. Or
I can't either, because as we discussed previously, he gives me a slight ick.
So
I'm kind of with you on that.
So he shows up also because he was following the boyfriend, Jonathan. Howard's boyfriend, Jonathan. And it turns out that he was just getting drugs from that doctor, the leading man cocktail, which is like a bunch of stuff and then a little bit of meth.
Just a little.
Which is sort of hilarious.
He's kind of like a 50s housewife because everyone was just on meth in the 50s.
We need uppers during the day and then we need benzos at night.
Yep.
It's just, that's super healthy. And so he basically admits to having not wanted the lead role at all, despite being Ben's understudy, but like the reason he's keeping it secret is because Howard wouldn't understand. Because all Howard wants is to be the lead. Which the scenes with him and KT, first of all, I love that they kind of made friends now.
Me too.
They like have made peace. But like, how old did he say he was when he was playing John Proctor in The Crucible?
He was in middle school.
That's too young. First of all, that's too young for The Crucible.
Sir, that left foot kick out?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Especially for John Proctor. It is my name! Are you joking?
No, gross.
He sounded like me doing that.
Yeah.
No.
Definitely not.
This entire episode, I was just time traveling.
Yeah.
It's just like, my youth. And especially with like KT's, though she be but little, she is fierce.
Yeah.
Everyone had a print of that.
Yeah.
And then to be in Midsummer Night's Dream and have that line around, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, yeah. And also, I said that's too young for The Crucible, but I actually do think my like Salem witch trials like unit was in middle school. I think that was in middle school.
Well, yeah, it's just you don't cast children as the leads.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I did The Crucible my senior year of high school, but I was one of the like witchy girls. And I was auditioning for Abigail.
Well, then who played the adults in your school production?
It wasn't a school production. It was a community theater. It was an outdoor theater during Halloween time in October. It was very spooky.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that.
I did not get the titular role because John Proctor was my mom's ex-boyfriend.
There's also no titular role, though.
Abigail?
Titular means the title. There is no role called The Crucible. Rachel's like, fuck you.
Well, if we know one thing, I don't know what that means or penultimate. So
second to last.
I know. Trust me. I learned that day. So I never say that word ever anymore.
Can't make a good soup. Can't spell the word lieutenant.
Oh man.
Basically, all Crucible jokes aside, that was like a fun scene having him like call Gideon because KT was like, you have to like let him in and just like let him be here.
Let him live his ghostly business.
Yeah.
He clearly wants to be a part of it.
Yeah. So that was super fun. And then we do get to a point where Mabel tells them that Cinda Canning like approached her for like a partnership, but she told her that she already had partners, but she doesn't really feel like it anymore. And this is in the midst of Oliver literally erasing evidence, the lipstick, the fucking pig lipstick, because he just also really doesn't want it to be Loretta.
Yeah, because the crazy, I just bit my tongue. The crazy director guy told him to make a decision. And so he had needed to decide what he really wanted. And so he decided that he really wanted Loretta.
Yeah.
And so he's choosing to protect her.
Which is interesting because in the next episode, he like admits to having stolen the book and like he shows it to Charles hoping, I mean, I guess that's still yes, because he's hoping that Charles will be like, no, I don't think so. But then as soon as Charles is like, I don't think she killed him, he's like, oh God, if you don't think she killed him, then she must have killed him.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked this episode. I thought it was good. And then it also did lead really well into the next one where we got back Theodemus.
So hot.
He's so adorable too. I really like him. And then we also got a surprise horrible Matthew Broderick and a surprise amazing round of applause, standing ovation, Mel Brooks. Love that for us.
I can't believe that man is still alive.
I know, good for him.
I know, love to see it.
Yeah.
You still need to watch Young Frankenstein.
I will watch Young Frankenstein.
Maybe we should do that after we're done.
Okay. We'll see if it's streaming anywhere.
Okay, and if Ginger is still alive, since she apparently getting
she's getting
yelled out of her right now.
She's getting yelled at a lot right now. The poor puppy. Basically, they are trying to recast Charles's role because they've all fought at the end and they're not really speaking. And it's just that scene in the elevator
with all the guys that look like
all
him.
of the other Charleses, just very funny. And so that's where we get Matthew Broderick, as he, I guess, is Cliff's friend, or they got trapped in the Ritz
Something like that, yeah.
together for a couple of weeks. And so he's agreed to do it. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of Uma and a little bit more Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple scenes
Rip.
of Bunny. R.I.P. Bunny. And so it was like used to be their like tradition to go to the pickle diner and split like what looked like a Reuben or like a pastrami on rye. Kind of looked amazing.
Yeah,
with those like big thick French fries.
I don't even like pastrami or a Reuben, and I would eat the shit out of that.
I want it because the other thing is
there's the side of coleslaw.
Yeah. Well, they had French fries that looked amazing, but
but
coleslaw also.
I want it.
But the other thing too is I'm going to say something controversial and brave, which is I don't like the sandwiches at Cat's Deli. That's too much meat.
Is that like the big?
Yeah, it's too much meat. Too much meat. And it's the same at 2J's, which is the down here, the local kind of like Jewish deli chain.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much meat because they do it in like a spiral. And so it's like round in the middle of the bread. And I'm like, no, I want a reasonable amount of meat I want a sandwich that I can put in my mouth, like I fit in my mouth.
Well, they got to feed you because you never know when you might be able to eat again.
I want to be fed, and I understand that. And like generational trauma with regard to fasts and stuff and famines are a real thing.
Yes.
Because I actually saw a thing the other day that said, if like your parents or your grandparents lived through the Depression,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, 2 of my grandparents lived through the Depression,
mm-hmm.
and it can affect how your body stores weight and fat.
Well, that's the whole thing with Irish people. Yeah. And I'm Irish on my mom's side.
It was crazy.
And Italian on my dad's side. So it's nothing but squatty legs and big boobs for me.
Yeah. We both belong in potato fields.
Yeah. We would do fine.
We would do great. But yeah, so I understand that, but I just think then give me like 4 more pieces of bread so I can make this into 2 more sandwiches.
Yeah. Well, that could be your thing where you just order 2 pieces of bread on the side.
And make another sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then have them stare at you and just be like, it's my thing. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Parks and Rec where Tom is like being a real cheapskate trying to open Rent-A-Swag.
Mm-hmm.
And so Anne like takes him to breakfast and he's like, I'll take a dozen eggs uncooked and like a bunch of bacon, just raw. Because he's like grocery shopping at the diner. Anyway, so Uma and Bunny used to go to the pickle diner and split a sandwich and just like kind of talk shit all the time. And so Uma still does that and like sets aside half the sandwich, which I thought was very sweet and very cute. And her little speech about because like you said, people are alive or dead to me. Yeah. I liked that a lot.
That is me. There are 3 categories and that is it.
And her thing about Bunny, how she was glad that Bunny wasn't dead to her when she actually died was really sweet too.
Yeah.
She is kind of a curmudgeon because she's like mad at Charles because she's like, you guys killed my friend. And he's like, we didn't kill Bunny. Like, please. But we also, like at the very beginning of the episode, get the new information that she is kind of a kleptomaniac.
No, she's not kind of a klepto. She is 100% a klepto.
And she is the one who took Ben's hanky.
Mm-hmm.
And through the course of the episode, she does then sell it to Dickie, who is just sad. He's still sad about his brother. So, okay, I was suspicious of him a little.
I'm not anymore.
I'm not anymore.
No.
Unless those were guilty tears.
I am not suspicious of him with the poison. I am suspicious of him with the pushing.
Okay.
Because I could see them fighting where Dickie was like trying to get him to calm down or like to like lay down because he was like dead like an hour prior. And then Ben saying something really sideways and then him getting like really mad and shoving him.
Yeah. Mabel also discovers in this episode, so Theo is helping her pack up, I guess, because she is moving out, which I'm still sad about.
Me too.
I don't understand.
I'm glad she got one last dick down in that apartment.
And that it was such a good one, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Theo's helping her pack up, and she realizes that it couldn't have been Greg, specifically because after she speaks to Dickie, she finds out that Ben used to always set his watch forward 20 minutes, so he was always fashionably late. Or set it back 20 minutes, whatever. So he was always late.
Yes. And So does she say that Ben actually died at 12:26?
Yes.
Okay. But the cops are saying
12:06.
that he died at 12:06.
Because his watch was set wrong.
Okay.
Because he had set his watch wrong.
Okay. But wouldn't that mean that he died at 11:50 something? If it was 20 minutes fast and his watch said 12:06.
Yeah. But his watch is fast, so his...
Right, but so then why is she saying that he died actually at 12:26?
Then he must be setting his watch forward.
Right, so that's correct. But so then she should have said then he died at 11:50 or whatever is 20 minutes prior to 12:06.
No. Whatever we're saying was wrong. Where's a picture?
Where's my watch?
Can we draw a picture?
Where's my watch?
Okay, so
it is. So we are looking at midnight.
Yeah.
So midnight on your watch face. So if we're setting it for 20 minutes fast, it would then say 12:20, but it's midnight.
Correct.
Okay. But so if his watch says 12:06, we have to move backwards.
No.
Why?
Because you just did it the right way. If his watch is set to midnight, or if it is midnight, but his watch is set to 12:20. So then if it's 12:06, it goes the other way.
I don't know the meanings of words. I can't tell time. You guys, I'm so tired.
What does titular mean?
The title role.
Like Hamlet.
I get it.
Yeah, okay. Or Macbeth. Or Romeo and Juliet.
I get it. Now I want to write a blank on the Crucible. Hi, my name's Crucible.
Did you ever watch that movie called Hamlet 2?
No.
With Steve Coogan? It's so funny.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Because he basically...
I hate Hamlet.
No. I obviously, yes. It like ends up not making any sense, but he's like the high school theater teacher, and he like, instead of doing something they've done before, they decide to write Hamlet 2.
Oh, God.
And there is a song in it called Rock Me Sexy Jesus. I don't remember why, but it's very funny.
Holy shit. You guys, I have a college degree.
I have too, and that conversation still threw me for a loop.
That was confusing. Oh my God.
So anyway, yeah. So Mabel has realized that Charles doesn't really do much in this episode except get jealous of Matthew Broderick, who, by the way, is awful. He's really method about it, and so he like keeps Oliver awake until like after midnight, just like rehearsing.
And I know that there are actors like that. I just literally would never. No. Like you do that own work yourself.
You do it on your own time.
Yeah, and you just keep it like when Loretta just like all of a sudden busted out an accent at the table read, and she was like, "Well, that's like the work I did for my character." Great, you leave all that to yourself.
You do it alone.
Yeah.
But that whole thing is funny, and that's also how we get the Mel Brooks cameo, is that Oliver calls him and is like, when you made the producers, what was Matthew Broderick like? And he was like, did you tell him you wanted input? And he was like, yeah.
He goes, you're fucked!
Yeah.
And just hung up right on him.
Very funny. I did kind of like that little moment with Theo and Taubert.
Me too.
Because Mabel, they're trying to record a new episode, basically, because Mabel is now going it alone on this, and Taubert is being, like, pretty supportive. He's still a little suspicious, even in this episode, but I don't know.
He's just trying to get in too close too fast, and I think that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's being very obvious.
Yeah. So...
And he shows her horrible fan art for, like, suggestions for, like,
No, he made that. He was covering for himself after the fact. I'm 100% sure he made that.
I hope he made her came, because that's... Will please cut that?
No, leave it in. You have to leave it in. I don't know. She looked pretty satisfied in her lacy, silky nightgown. I think she probably got there.
Anyway, the picture was ugly and bad.
It was. The picture was ugly and bad.
Normally, we just have to deal with me swallowing my yawns.
Yeah,
And now
you are like off the rails in this episode. Maybe we should have waited one more week and done 3 at once.
Oh my god.
All right, what else so yes, the moment with Taubert and Theo, because she was just kind of getting like nervous and everything about the whole recording again and by herself. And he had like a whole little setup and everything for her. And then she was like, I think I'm just going to record it on my phone. And he was just like, okay. And then Theo wrote a little note that said, I don't get her either. Like, I can't get there with her either. Like, I don't understand.
I can't figure her out
Figure her out. That's what it was. And he just was like, oh, like, thanks. And then I guess the only other really big thing is that Dickie was doing a silent auction for all of the CoBro stuff upstairs. There was some girl cop stuff, but it seemed mostly CoBro. And he got a little pissed at Mabel at first because he thought she was still trying to make money, like with the podcast and everything. But she seems to have at least a little bit convinced him that she doesn't think it's Greg.
Yeah.
And so he apologized and they apologized. And I like where that ended up. Donna was wearing a beautiful cape.
She was.
That you really liked.
Yep.
And then the episode ends with Charles and Oliver realizing that Mabel has put out an episode of the podcast. And she's kept the name.
Yep. Because
she was thinking of changing it or doing something different, but she couldn't think of anything else. So.
And Officer Biswas?
Yeah.
Is that how you say his name?
So.
He decided to reopen the case.
Yeah. I think he was talking to the lady detective from season 1 and 2. Also, his name is Gerard Lobo, and he is.
Yes, he is. I like his face.
Yeah. And then there is, they go, because Charles and Oliver go to apologize to Mabel, and there is just a woman with a baby in her apartment now.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah. I wonder what we're going to do about that. I'm very curious. Oh, Oliver did yell at her.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was in episode 6, because he was like, just because you've never had a real job.
Yeah.
Like, they're important. And she was like, well, fuck you too, then.
Yeah, to the point that, like, Charles was like, Oliver.
Yeah. It's not great. Like, and I understand, because he was like, you keep on focusing on only the people in the cast. But it's like, that's the most likely.
Yeah.
People involved in this production.
You start there and work your way out.
So I understand why he was annoyed with her, but also, like, that's sort of something you can't come back from.
Yeah.
It's hard. And also, there's so much gut milk in episode 7. Blue raspberry flavored gut milk?
What are we, Star Wars?
Gross.
Disgusting.
Gross. I didn't like that.
I didn't either.
But yeah, I kind of am hoping that Theo Demas sticks around.
100%.
He's like a nice addition. I like that him and Mabel are like friends because they didn't even really seem to used to be friends.
They were up until when the girl fell off the building.
Oh, that's right. They were kind of. She was nice to him.
Yeah, that's then he Teddy kind of like brought him back into the fold.
Right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I like that. I think he's cute. I like that they're friends. She seems to be learning more sign language, which is nice too. Super cute. So yeah, that was these 2 episodes. Pretty good. We didn't have any Meryl Streep in this episode. Either one of these episodes.
Nope.
So I'm still a little suspicious of her, or like mostly suspicious of her, a little suspicious of Taubert, and a little suspicious of Dickie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I have Loretta for the poison, and then I have Dickie for the push.
Okay. All right.
Taubert, I think, is just weird.
Yeah, but he could be in there.
I know. I don't know.
He also could just be in the cover up.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But regardless, super good. We got 3 episodes left. We should be on schedule for all of them, but obviously you'll find out.
Yep.
All right. Well, let us know what you think. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
I'm sorry.
Bye.